Great to have you here. The details now. A rainstorm on Thursday evening in the Ashanti region capital, Kumasi, has left scores of people displaced. Roofs were ripped off, buildings and giant billboards fell, and in some instances, unmoving vehicles at Afunkwanta Stadium and Asokwa, all in the Kumasi metropolis. One person has been hospitalized after he was trapped for hours in his car. A billboard is said to have fallen on the vehicle. It took the intervention of the fire service to cut through the vehicle and rescue him. Nanaya Ojima has been following the story and joins me on the telephone. Hello, Nanaya.
Yeah, hello, Benny.
What's the update on the persons who've been displaced?
Okay, this morning, the NADMO and other officials of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly have been working to get these people back into their homes, or to find some relief for these people. As at the time I'm speaking to you this morning, yesterday's rains caused a lot of havoc in areas like Asokwa Stadium and Loga Junction. At these areas where there are so many trees, the rainstorm caused these trees to fall on electricity cables, therefore affecting power supply to these areas. As at this morning, the Electricity Company of Ghana is still working on restoring power to all these areas, but still, some people are still in darkness. As I speak to you now, if you go to Ahojo, some parts of Ahojo, trees have fallen into the road. Therefore, drivers being advised to use other routes, other access routes to get to their destination. So at Ahojo also, the cables are down, power in some homes is off, and therefore the people there are waiting on electricity officials to fix the havoc these rains have caused. So some people are still in darkness, others have their homes ripped off, the roof of their homes ripped off. Other schools, I know schools in a certain school in Afuase has its roof ripped off, and therefore they are calling authorities to help fix this situation. Afuase is under the Askramanpo municipality, and I'm learning that the officials of this municipality is trying to help deal with the situation this morning.
This school you refer to, Nanaya, are there pupils or students in school this morning?
Yes, some came to the school to meet this unfortunate situation. So the teachers say maybe classes will have to be suspended for something to be done about this current situation.
And do we know, what, for example, what the displaced persons will need from NADMO? Do we know what NADMO is also giving them in terms of aid?
All right, we are yet to get some information official information from NADMO, what they can do to salvage the situation, but definitely these people will need roofing sheets to help roof their buildings, and at the meantime they will need some space to lay their heads for tonight and maybe tomorrow before they fix the current situation they have in their homes.
Nanaya, we understand one gentleman was hospitalized because he was trapped in his vehicle after a billboard fell on it. What's the update on his health?
All right, this morning we are here to check on him. We have been doing some work in other parts of the city. So definitely by midday we'll get that information and update our listeners with that.
Thank you very much. And do you know what the weather is like with regards to predictions? Have you heard from the meteorological service, for example, what the weather will be like for the rest of the day?
No, we are yet to hear from them, but the people in Kumasi are putting measures in place. A lot of people plan, I spoke to this morning, plan to come home early so that probably if the rain should fall, it will miss them.
All right, thank you very much. Nanaya Ojima is with our sister station, Love FM in Kumasi, giving us an update on the rainstorm last night that has left many displaced. Like he said, we've got our eyes on this story and we'll bring you all the updates that you need to know. But for now, if you're watching us in Kumasi, do stay safe. We received an alert from the meteorological agency that early this morning, those in Accra, we witnessed a rainstorm, and they are predicting that it will hit other parts of the country, including the central regions and the northern region. And so the advice is for you to stay safe wherever you are. Let's move on to other stories. Over the years, many lives have been lost to floods, along with property. in Ghana. Now, a situation attributed to lack of preparedness for disaster. Experts are calling for an action plan going forward. One of them is a senior research fellow, Benjamin Delali Dovi, who says a proactive approach should replace the reactive responses recorded so far. Mr. Dovi has called on authorities to adopt what is referred to as the Sendai framework, an entry point for disaster management. There's more in this report by Patricia Hammond.
The Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction is a non-binding agreement by the UN which recognizes the state's primary role to reduce disaster risks. It stipulates, however, that responsibility should be shared with other sectors. Government's adoption of the Sendai Framework will bring along the guidelines to enable Ghana respond better to disasters. Senior research fellow Benjamin Delali Dovi explains this further.
People get confused when there are floods. Talk about the institutions themselves, talk about the people, the duty bearers who are supposed to lead people. They tend to get confused. That is why we are saying that forward planning is very, very important, and we don't have to be reactive. If it happens, what are we going to do? That is the most important thing. So we need to have a plan whereby we will say that should Circle get flooded one more time, these are the measures that we are going to put in place. And these particular measures will draw the attention of this number of assemblies, this number of departments, institutions. It could be health, it could be the transport people, it could be the NADMO people, to do specific activities, specific things when floods occur. This is what we need. We don't have to have everybody just moving in there. So your action plan defines your priorities. And not only defining your priorities, attaching responsibilities to those particular priorities. So we know who should be held responsible if certain things go wrong.
The mayor of Accra, Mohamed Ejeiso, added that major storm drains in Accra are being fixed with support from the Works and Housing Ministry to prevent the cyclical flooding which has plagued the country over the years. He adds, government has put in place sustainable measures to address not only disasters but general sanitation issues in the country.
Well, I can assure you that we've put in mitigating measures that these things may not occur, but I don't know the amount of rain that will come. What I can assure you of is that we are putting in the mitigating measures. We'll be commissioning a solid waste plant in Accra Central that will treat over 400 tons of waste to recycle it into composts and PET bottles for industry and the rest. There's always a connection of waste to flooding also in Accra. So whilst you are constructing the storm drains, you're also dealing with the issue about waste. So the president called to make Accra clean. It is not just picking the waste. It is also intended to ensure that we have enough infrastructure, equipment, and the capacity to be able to deal with the matter in a very sustainable way.